The most known PPP procurement system is the most popular and the most appropriate methodology is the international competitive bidding, which is a tender that is internationally announced, and you allow anybody and everybody who's qualified or is meeting the criteria to compete. This open international competitive bidding are the main system of procurement that everybody should follow. However, there are some exceptions to the international competitive bidding, which is the procurement methodology, the main procurement methodology or the main procurement system, which is the competitive bidding, by which you can get the best technical and you can negotiate the best prices and get the best, select the best consortium of operators and investors. The international competitive bidding starts with the pre-qualification, and I want to tell you something about the pre-qualification. However, it's a simple transaction where you select the shortlisted through criteria against criteria that you have to announce first. This pre-qualification you should not compromise, because if you allow unqualified consortium or unqualified operator, you will might be suffering. This unqualified bidder could be the successful bidder, and you might be jeopardizing your transaction. So the pre-qualification, the criteria of the pre-qualification session is very important, and you have to get consultants working with you on this, because you have financial criteria, financing criteria, technical criteria, operating criteria for the operators, and legal criteria. Then you go through the tender preparation of the tender document preparation, and this is another important part. Actually, in Egypt, I put in the tender document the full-fledged contract or draft contract, let me say, with all its annexes. And in the tender document, we don't put any conditions or technical specs or anything. The contract and its annexes explain all what we need. So I urge the bidders to read this contract and understand it well, and then come out with their clarifications. We will go for clarification sessions, and then we go for something called the one-to-one meeting, where we meet with each and every consortium separately, so we can discuss the issues that they want to discuss on the contract and the tender in privacy, without having other competitors with them, so they can talk freely and openly. But they are not allowed to provide the final solution. They are not allowed to give us any indication about the price. Okay, any questions, technical or financial, we can answer them. We can even hear for their suggestion if they want to change anything in the contract, but they're not allowed to do anything regarding the financing or the final solution. Extension, after these meetings and clarification, we might need to amend the contract or amend it on the tender document. Once we amend them, we have to allow some more extension for the bid submission deadline for the bidders to include all these amendments that we introduced. And then go for the bid evaluation, which is another important part. Don't compromise on the technical bid evaluation. Don't compromise on the technical bid evaluation. Be very careful and strict. Limited bidding. This is another methodology, or let me say, this is the first exception of the international competitive bidding, where you will invite directly limited number of bidders, okay, to this bid. You will not open it to everybody in the world, but you say that I get this 6 or 7 bidders, and I will call them for limited closed bidding, so they can give me their bidding, and instead of going through all the hassle. The only thing that you've done in this limited bidding is that you skipped out, or you bridged over the pre-qualification, because the pre-qualification gives you the short list, the qualified short list that you will invite them to purchase the tender document and submit the bid. When you go for a limited bid, you bridge over the process of the pre-qualification or the shortlisting to come out with the qualified consortia or the qualified bidders, and you go directly by select. This is dangerous. If you do it the way that I'm just saying, it's dangerous because you might not get the appropriate list out of the appropriate list, the qualified people. So we had some kind of legislative framework to, let me say, qualify these processes. Is that you have to do the main concept or the main aim of the limited bidding is to shorten the period of bidding and the period of which take us actually almost 3 months to 4 months qualifying. You want to save this 4 months. Right. What we are suggesting here, actually, what we practiced is that we do something called the collective pre-qualification. In the beginning of the year, where I have some projects to be tendered out, similar projects or in the same sector, okay, when I want to tender them out. So I say that, for instance, I want to tender this year 7 or 8 desalination projects in different places in the country. So instead of each project of this 7 or 8, I go through the shortlisting and shortlisting and shortlisting. I can do the so-called collective annual or collective biannual pre-qualification session. So I announce it out loud and announce it internationally and say anyone or any company or any consortium of companies that meets this criteria can apply for the pre-qualification, and then we come out with the pre-qualified bidders, the 7, 8, and 15 qualified bidders, and then we put them qualified aside. Once we prepare the first waste desalination project, I call them. So I call this qualified bidders in each and every bid this on the desalination, or let me say, on the same sector, the same project, because the consortium and operators of a wastewater treatment plant are different from the desalination plant, are different from port management, are different from hospitals. So you have to have qualified operators and consortium on the specific sector and specific type of project. Water sector, desalination project, or water sector, wastewater treatment plant projects. Okay, but there's something here, last thing to say on this issue. It's very important. I have 10 desalination projects that I'm planning to tender this year, and this 10 are different sizes. I've got 2 of them 100,000 cubic meters per day. One is 170,000 cubic meters per day. Few of them varies from 40 to 60,000 cubic meters per day. There are different capacities and different sizes. And desalination, I'm just taking the desalination as an example because it's very straightforward. Desalination projects, the price that you bid on is very much depending on the size of the price of the site, of the station, of the project. That's one thing. The other thing, which is very important, you might find 5, 6, 7, 8 consortium in the world that are having the qualifications or have already built and operated sites of 200,000 cubic meters per day and above. But there is a lot of other people are perfect operators and investors are good up to 100,000 cubic meter per day. They didn't exceed the 100,000. Okay, and there are other kind of operators who are perfect in up to 50,000 cubic meter per day. That's their financial capacity, that's their technical capacity, and that's their operation capacity. So in this case, when you issue a pre-qualification, a collective pre-qualification session, collective pre-qualification in the beginning of the year, and you want to ask this qualified bidders from this collective to participate in your bids, you have to do the so-called multi-category qualification criteria. You say that in this criteria, pre-qualification criteria, I will have three categories: less than 50,000 cubic meter per day, from 50 to 100,000 cubic meter per day, from 100,000 to 200,000 cubic meter per day, and over 200,000. So you have four categories, okay? And you put financial and technical capacity as a criteria for each one. Ask the qualified bidder to select he wants to be qualified on which category. So you'll have a multi-categories, okay, in one pre-qualification session. It will take something like 2 or 3 months, 4 months, but by the end of the day, you will have a qualified bidder that you can, through this, you can ask for the limited bid and bridge over and save the time of the pre-qualification. The third methodology or system is direct award, and you'll find the slides very much in red because you want to take take care of using this. This is a very tricky way. Should be used in very limited cases and with a very legislative restriction. Yeah, in your law or in your legislative framework, if you want to go to the direct award, then the project should qualify as to be contracted under direct award, and the company or the consortium that you will award should also pass this kind of qualification. Plus, you now have to get an approval from the minister, an approval from the cabinet, the prime minister, as per the legislative framework, but you have to put some kind of restrictions. You use it only if you have a real justification. Why you want to use direct award, and you don't want to go through the competitive bidding, and you have to have legal justification of it. Don't go for a direct award for a project unless you have a benchmark pricing. Again, for the same example that we done, I have a wastewater treatment plant that I need to award immediately, and there is a problem there. I want the private sector to start construction immediately. I don't have enough time to go for the bidding. So we assume that this is a suitable justification, and then we go for this. You will sit with the private sector and negotiate the price, negotiate the terms. What will be your reference price? You don't know. You have to have a price benchmark that was provided to you through recent competitive bidding. So if I want to go for a direct award of a wastewater treatment plant or a desalination plant or a school or a hospital or whatever, okay, then I have to have, before going for a negotiation award the direct order, I need to have a desalination project which was tendered out under competition with the same size, almost the same size or very near size, okay? So I can have this as a benchmark and start negotiating the direct award or the awarded single source selection bidders, so I can negotiate the price with him and tell that this is my best price. You can have to go below it. Okay. Last thing if you think sometimes, if you think that the direct award is the fastest way, no, it's not. You take long time negotiating the articles of the law and negotiating prices, especially when this is a new law, sorry, a new project. But if it's a repetitive project, like you have 20 or 40 desalination projects that you want to tender the next 3-4 years, some of which will be very urgent, you need to put them the market immediately, so you can select some of them to direct award. However, we have to have the benchmark, and because you have the standard document, the standard contract, the knowledge and experience of this kind of project, then if you go to direct award, there will not be harm that much in this case. The last thing is the unsolicited bid. The unsolicited bid is, I've got only 2 minutes to go, so I'll be very quick on this. The unsolicited bid is the bid that the project that you know nothing about as the government. And one of the private sector thinks that this is a project that could be done under the public-private partnership methodology, where he can provide better service to the people and can provide benefit to the government and gain some benefits and profit as well. Okay, and this project is not in the government list of projects to be done. So he start working on this project by his own and do all the studies and get the financing and get the project prepared. Then he knocks at the door of the government and tell them, I've got a project. This is unsolicited project. This is a project. He comes out with a bid or a tender or a proposal, let me say, that the government didn't ask for. So that's why it's unsolicited. So he says that, what if I do this project for you with this technology and it will cost you nothing, and this will be the benefit, and this is the socio-economic benefits, and this is the feasibility study, and so on. Okay? So you have to provide the full-fledged studies submitted by the proponent. The project should be accepted from the competent authorities. Hypothetical, this is a wastewater treatment plant with a new technology that will do the entire plant underground. He will not put anything in the ground. So you can use the upper part of the land for another activity. This is an initiative. This project, he thinks that is good for the government, good for the people and everybody, will be approved by the Ministry of Utilities. If it's not approved by the Ministry of Utilities, then I don't have a project. In case it's accepted by the competent authority, this is a very good idea that we didn't think of. This will help us do so and so, this will help us do so, and they accept it. Then we go for the next step of the procurement. The unsolicited bidding is not a direct award. So he came with the full studies and proposal. Thank you very much. This is a good idea. We will negotiate the price and then give him the award. This is not an unsolicited bid because this is a direct award for a project that's not listed, which is a big problem. But the unsolicited bid, there's something called the Swiss challenge. The Swiss challenge is a methodology of procurement where they do the normal procedures of a competitive bidding. The proponent came with all his studies and all the projects and his pricing and everything, and then they told him, thank you very much, you're perfect guy. Stand aside and we will tender it out to the people internationally. Come on. So where's my privilege? Where's, as a proponent, where's the effort and money that I spent in studies and putting the proposal together that the government took and tendered out to the people? They say no. Under the Swiss challenge, we will tender it out, and then we will give you, the proponent, the initial proponent, the first right of refusal. Okay, so if the best price is $10, then you can meet this $10 or beat it. So thank you very much, we'll take it. So the proponent, who is the initial or initiative of this project, have the right to step in and say, thank you very much, I will take this proposal. This Swiss channel, in my opinion, because I've experienced that before, will not work. Is not possible, because put yourself on the shoes of the other bidders who you internationally tendered it out. Okay, I'm not the proponent. I'm one who wants to bid. If I want to bid, I'll get consultants, advisors. I'll spend a lot of time and effort and money, okay, to put my bid. Why should I put my bid and spend all this time and money and resources, okay, while another person is sitting waiting for my price to meet it? So definitely I will not bid. So this challenge, however, it's known to everybody, but I tell you, this is not the right vehicle, because it will not get you this. In our system in Egypt, we've created another system, which we call it the Egypt challenge. This is with only 1 minute, which is left to me. We call it the Egypt challenge, which we change a little bit this to give an opportunity for bidders who are spending money and time and resources to bid, so they have a chance to win the bid. How we do this? We say, you're the initiative of the project. Thank you very much. Give us your best price. Your best price. Okay? And we put your best price in an envelope. Okay? Then we put it competitively. And we say clearly in the bidding documents that the proponent, if the prices provided are within 5%, 10%, for instance, less than the price given by the proponent, then the proponent will have the privilege of meeting. But if the prices are far in difference, far than the 10%, okay, then the proponent loses his opportunity, and we award it to the competitive bidder. Okay, so we have to put a limit. I will give you a privilege if your price within 5%, the proponent, the initiative proponent. But if you put me a price sky high and other bidders give me price which is 20% less than yours, thank you very much, we will award it to the proponent, to the new bidders. And in this case, two things happen. The first thing is that the initial proponent sharpen his pen and start calculating his prices very carefully, because he wants to have this difference as low as possible. And the bidders who are willing to compete will sharpen their pen as well, and they know there is someone waiting for them. They want to go beyond this 5% or 10%, they can have the opportunity to win. And this is what we call the Egyptian challenge. Thank you very much for your time, and sorry for being a little bit long.